Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2018 Dodge Charger Pursuit. So this is a vehicle that's going to be fitted for the law enforcement in North Carolina. So this is what it looks like when it gets to the dealership before it has all the extra stickers and light bars and all that stuff on it. So it's not a very common vehicle for me to be able to show you, so let's go ahead and check it out. This Charger is sitting on 225/60 Goodyear tires, wrapped around 18-inch steel wheels with wheel covers. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Billet Silver, and it's a pretty common color when it comes to police cars or sheriff cars. So here in the front you have the gloss black grille with the kind of cross right here in the center portion right there, the bullseye or whatever you want to call it. And no fog lights. You can see those just have a matte black plastic insert in there. Headlights are powered by halogen bulbs and a projector tube for your low and your high beams, surrounded by an LED accent for daytime running lights and LED turn signals. Looking at the profile, you can see pretty much a matte black portion around the windows, and the center pillars right there matte blacked out, kind of giving it a solid appearance. Now the windows will most likely be tinted, so that even makes it more of a solid appearance. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system, and it's designed to where you can keep it in your pocket the whole time and use the vehicle without taking it out. Now you can get out of the vehicle, lock the doors, and go into a store or whatever while keeping the engine running and the vehicle secure. Now it has the lock and unlock buttons, the ability to open up the trunk, and the trunk will not open with the proximity system. So there's a button back there for the proximity key. Normally you'd walk up to the back of the vehicle, push it, and it'll open it up. But this particular vehicle does not have that capability. You either have to push the button on the key, or there's a button in the front. That's the only way you can access the trunk, which we'll go into that in a little later. So as long as you have the key with you, it can be in your pocket, in a bag, or whatever. Now on the front doors only, to lock the doors, you push this button right here. It will lock all the doors. To unlock it, put your hand under the handle, and I have the setting right now to where it only locks the door that you're next to. So as long as this key is close to this door, it's only going to unlock that door. And of course we can relock it, but you can go in the settings and make it to where it locks both the front doors and leaves the back locked, or all the doors, whatever you want. But right now it's just the door that the key is next to. Okay, so here's the inside of the passenger side door. Now it's a soft to touch material all the way from the top all the way down. So you have this vinyl surface here and here around your arm, and then up here is kind of like the only way I know how to explain it is a Nerf material. It's a very strong surface, but it is soft to the touch with a synthetic leather texturing, and it goes all the way across the door there on the top. It's the same material that the dash is made out of, by the way. And then your handle has a little storage pocket there if you want to use it for that. You have a storage pocket here, and then you have the pockets there at the base of the door. Down here is your strong hard touch plastics. There's your threshold with a plastic sill plate, manually adjusted seats, and they are also minimally bolstered seats, so they're easy to get in and out of. Cloth seats. The floorboard is a vinyl floorboard, so that way it's easy to clean and very durable. So there's your dash. Now you have a lockable glove compartment with a felt lining and little shelves in there, just to kind of keep it somewhat organized. Okay, looking at the back seat. So this has the soft touch materials all the way down from the top down, just like the front. No difference there. And then you have the pockets and everything. Now the doors will open. When the doors are unlocked, you can get in and unlock the doors. Now it does have the child lock safety feature, which you can enable or disable if you want to. Okay, so the rear seats, a little bit more bolstering than the front seats, but they are made out of vinyl, so there's no cloth back here. It's a vinyl seat. It actually does have the latch system for car seats, but it's all solid. There's no ability to fold down the seats or anything like that. You can see the vinyl, and there's no pockets in the back of the front seats. Okay, looking at the back of the car, has a small antenna right up in there, similar to a shark fin, but not sticking up so high. And has a third brake light there at the top, powered by LEDs. All the exterior lighting here in the back is powered by LEDs, by the way. Dual exhaust, true dual exhaust system, but you probably saw that in the beginning of the video. Okay, so like I mentioned, there's a button back here, but it does not give you access to the trunk. So I guess the theory is if you're standing back here and you're a police officer with some kind of suspect, they can't just reach over, since you're standing there with the key or whatever, they can't just reach over and open up the trunk and access, you know, weapons or whatever. Now it does have a backup camera in the very center position. It also has parking sensors. It also has the blind spot detection system and rear crosspath detection system. Now this vehicle has kind of like an ambush prevention system as well, to where if you're sitting in the car, and police usually do this, they're sitting somewhere in a parking lot or whatever, clocking somebody or waiting for something. Well, if somebody tries to sneak up on you from the rear of the vehicle, anywhere near the rear of the vehicle, it uses the backup camera, the parking sensors, the rear crosspath detection, and the blind spot detection system to sense that movement, and it will lock the doors, roll up the windows, and give you turn on the backup camera so you can see what's going on, and flash the lights. So it's going to give you also an audible alert as well, to let you know somebody's back there. Okay, so it may be just a false alarm, it could just be somebody walking by, but at least you'll know what's going on. Okay, so to access the trunk, and the trunk is a kind of a quick access trunk, so using the button, there's actually a button in the front which I'll show you, or you can use the key. So I'm going to go ahead and use the key, and watch how fast this trunk opens. It flips up pretty quickly out of the way. So you can see the inside of the trunk is pretty plain. There's no covering or anything like that. Exposed wires. There is a safety pull there, so you can exit the trunk if you get locked in it. Okay, so here is the trunk area, and you notice it has a full-size spare tire. So you have a full-size spare tire secured in place, and storage area back here. Plenty of room around the sides. Your battery is located behind this cover, and then there's a funnel for your capless fuel, your fuel door. There's bag holders and tie downs and all that stuff. There's also two lights, so you have a light on each side, helping you out with visibility and shadows. Under here is covered up, and there's no accessing the trunk from the back seat. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's capless. You don't have to worry about a cap or anything. It does have a little rubber seal around the outside, and the funnel that's in the trunk is only used if you need to use a gas can, like if you run out of gas or something. Start it up. As long as we have the key inside the vehicle, hold the brake, push the button. Okay, so here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. As your accelerator and brake pedal, there's footrest, and you also have a foot actuated parking brake right in there. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. Okay, to open up the hood, there's a latch here just about in the very center position, maybe slightly to the right. You just reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. Doesn't require much energy to lift up the hood, and it goes up the rest of the way by itself. Now you notice it does have a light kind of tacked on there on the side, and there's no cover or insulation there on the hood. There is a little bit of a seal there on the front, and a little bit there on the back, but not much. There's no cover either, so the engine is exposed, which is nice. I really don't care for the covers too much. So it's a 5.7 liter V8. It does have an insulated firewall. Okay, so the inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. We already saw the fuel door release kind of hidden over here. Door lock controls, power window controls are all right in here. Front two are automatic, one touch down and one touch up. Now I want to mention something, that the windows are also laminated, so you have two panes of glass with a lamination acoustic material on the inside. Not only does it make the windows stronger, but it also helps with outside noise. Side mirrors are adjusted here for that little pad. You just pick a side there. And you have a combination of power and manual seats here for the driver. So the power is this button going up and down, forward and back, and you can also tilt it. So you can go to the front, separate from the back, and then you have the ability to recline the seat with a manual lever back there. I really like the way the seats are not bolstered that much, just the ease of getting in and out of the vehicle. That's pretty cool. Okay, so your headlight controls are in here. You have automatic, off, parking light, and then turn on. Interior gauges, dimmer switches there, and also your interior lights. You can turn all on right there. Then you have ambient light like your floorboard and stuff. You can adjust the intensity of that, and then the ability to open up the trunk. You also have an ambidextrous tilt and telescoping steering column, so you can move it in and out, up and down, and then the lever, like I said, is ambidextrous. You can reach it from either side, and it's right in the very center. Okay, so let's take a look sitting in the driver's seat. And very interesting design. I mean, it's not like the not entirely like the regular model. There's a lot of differences. So let's start off with the legroom here. So I have the seat all the way back. I'm 6 feet tall, just to give you an idea of how much room there is. There's always plenty of room in the Chargers and the Challengers, so that's all good. Okay, so looking at the steering wheel, it's a leather wrap steering wheel with little bolsters here at the very top. And it's a smooth leather, but not slippery or anything like that. So here on the right side is your cruise control. So you can adjust your cruise control as long as you turn it on. You can set it with either the plus or the minus, which is nice. Right down here is this is typically, these buttons are typically used for adaptive cruise control, but in this particular package, they're used for auxiliary switches. So for turning on your strobe lights or anything like that, there's 3 different auxiliary switches in which can be hooked up for whatever purpose that the police need. Maybe one is a siren, one's your lights, that kind of thing, or maybe this one is your siren and your lights. I'm not sure. But anyways, that's pretty interesting. You also have your volume on the back of the steering column there, which is nice. I really like that. So your volume back here, and the center button cycles through your audio source. On the back of the left side, goes up and down, changing through your audio tracks or your radio stations, and the center button changes through your presets. Here on the front is your Bluetooth controls. You can answer and hang up. You also have a very advanced voice recognition system. And these buttons correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. There's your turn signal with your windshield wiper controls. And check it out, the shifter is actually, kind of looks like a column shifter, but it's really just a little bit to the right of the column, right in there to kind of simulate a column shifter. So as I change to the gears, it just kind of goes up and down. So we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so here's the gauges, has the red background, sporty looking, just like the quote-unquote civilian models. Has this, I really like the font that they use for the numbers there. It's pretty cool. Okay, so the RPM's there on the left side, speedometer's there on the right, and then you have a digital speedometer in the center with a bunch of other information like your engine coolant temperature, your fuel gauge, what gear you're in, outside temperature, and your range. Some of those are customizable. Okay, so using these buttons right here, I'm going to show you what you can do here. So right now it has a digital speedometer. We can scroll down and you'll see it's part of the whole menu system. So speedometer is the first choice. Second choice is your vehicle info screen, which we can go left and right and get for more information. So right now it's showing oil pressure. Let's go to the right. Oil life, scrolling, battery voltage, engine hours, tire pressure, coolant temperature. You can get the temperature for the transmission when the vehicle's in drive only, oil temperature, and oil pressure. So it kind of keeps repeating. But that's the first time I've seen where you can actually have to put it in drive for the oil temperature, the transmission temperature. So that must be new for 18, unless I've overlooked it before, which I don't think I have. All right, fuel economy is your next option here, number 3. And then you have 2 screens. You have a range as well. One is a current, one has a little current miles per gallon, the other one doesn't. You have an average, you can reset. Scrolling down again, trip info, so you can keep track of your distance, your time, and your miles per gallon during that time. And there's 2 of them, trip A and trip B. Scrolling down, audio, basically what your radio is doing. Scrolling down again is stored messages will show up here, like, you know, time to change the oil or, you know, things like that. And screen setup, we can go in there and we can change the things on the, say that outside temperature, if we wanted to change that to the clock or the range or the average fuel economy, that kind of stuff, we can do that. Scrolling down again gives us our speedometer back, so it goes back to the original screen there. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out this shifter. So it has a plus and minus up here in which we can actually change through the gears manually. So let's go ahead and put it in drive. So we have an auto stick feature. We can turn all that on, and once we do that, it's going to put change the drive to a number 1. So now we can push the buttons and change to the gears, the 8 gear ratios, manually if we want to. We can turn that off at any time and it goes back in the drive. While we're here, let's go ahead and put it in reverse. We can check out the backup camera, which has the active guidelines. So this has the 7-inch screen, which is slightly bigger than the previous models, and it has a much higher clarity as well. So it's similar to the 8.4 Uconnect screen, except for shrunk down to a 7. You can also get, I think it's a 9-inch screen. It's more vertical. That's another option in the Pursuit package as well, but this one has the 7, which is more standard, which looks really good. The resolution, there's something about it that looks really good. Okay, so you have your icons here at the bottom. You have your radio, AM, FM. There's no satellite on this one. Media, this is where, say, your USB and auxiliary inputs, stuff like that, or your Bluetooth. Climate, you have your climate controls in the next icon here. The icons stay in the same spot. So you have where you want the air to blow, the fan speed, the temperature, and it's not an automatic. So you have to set the temperature, you know, based on, you know, not a set number, but just hotter, colder. And then you have your apps. So you can look at your backup camera even when you're not in reverse, which is nice. So if you're just parked there, you can have it turned on so you can see what's behind you the whole time, in addition to the other feature I was talking about. And you can also drag these. So right now it says compass. We can change that to, say, you know, let's say we want to put the audio settings down there. We can press and hold it, and we can put the compass there, replace the compass. Let's say we want to put the compass back. We can press and hold it and do that number. It puts us back where we were. Okay, so the next one is phone. Once we pair the phone, we don't have one paired now, we'll have access to the phone book and recent calls, and we can actually transfer back to the phone if we want to have a private conversation. And then the compass is nice. It just basically has a big, nice digital compass there. And then you can go into your settings. And this is where you can set whether you want the horn to beep when you lock the doors, or whether you want to unlock the door with a proximity system, or whatever you want to adjust here. So you have lights, doors, locks, all this stuff. All right. So that's a quick rundown of this screen, 7-inch screen. Okay, so you have a volume for your radio. Change through your stations. You can always turn the screen off if you want to. You just tap it to turn it back on. You can mute any audio that's going through the system. And your 4-way flashers are there. Traction control you can turn off in case you need to spin tires. You can also turn off your parking sensors. And right down here is your kind of redundant buttons here for your climate control, front and rear defrosters, temperature for the driver and passenger, and the fan speed in the center, and recirculate the air. Two 12-volt power supplies, and just behind this cover here is a USB and auxiliary input. And this little cover right here pops off, and this is where you access, the installers will access any wiring they may need for the to hook up, you know, the accessories that's comes with or added to the Pursuit package. It's basically plug and play type stuff, from what I understand. And then you have the secure. This actually you can secure like your laptop or whatever is attached to the center portion. This is where all that would be done. And then you also have more secure points back here for whatever the case may be. It's just basically left open, and it's designed to add whatever you need to add. Okay, so here's your automatic, or it's not automatic, it's manual day and night mode, rear view mirror. Visors have mirrors and lights. You also have a little extension here. And it also extends out. And check out this this dome light. This is a little bit different than what I've seen. You see in the normal Charger. It kind of looks old-fashioned, doesn't it? But it has a white. It also has a red interior lights. Isn't that cool? Okay, let's look at the visibility in the back. So a nice big window in the back, and then you have the side glass there and there. So a little bit of a blind spot there with the pillars, but overall pretty good. Of course, you have all the sensors and stuff, back cameras and all that stuff to help you out. All right, so thank you for watching. There it is, 2018 Dodge Charger Pursuit. I'm really glad I was able to show this off. I didn't have a lot of time with it. Vehicle hadn't even been washed or anything like that, but here it is. I'm going to put as much information I can. I don't have access to the window sticker. I'm going to try to put that information in the description, as well as specs and all of the stuff that I didn't readily have access to before I had access to the vehicle. So more information in the description. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann Underwood here in Whiteville, North Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.